If you're into Game Boy, there's a good chance you'll like my new Neo Geo Pocket Color series too. Every Thursday I'm reviewing a new Neo Geo game. Just join the PO3 Patreon or become a channel member here on YouTube. The great wizard Taruruto is back in another adventure. The evil Raiba, which in-game translates phonetically as liver for some reason, decided to steal Taru's sword and with it destroy his hometown, and you must figure out how to put it back together. You're not playing as the little kid this time, but the wizard himself. The main screen shows this slide puzzle board with a track and various icons that pop up on it. This is the current map of your town. You need to maneuver the pieces in such a way that you can walk to these items. These will then reveal the side-scrolling platform levels that are reminiscent of the first game. This time, the gameplay in these levels is a bit more interesting, in that you actually have an attack this time. You play as Taruruto-Kun this time instead of the boy Honmaru, but seeing as how your sword has been pilfered, you mainly attack using your tongue. You can lash out your tongue in the cardinal directions to attack a multitude of enemies, and even eat these massive fruits that double up as platforms. If you obtain 100 of these, you get an extra life. Especially helpful are these ones that have SP written on them, which grant you 5 fruits, but are often in harder to reach places. There are also icons scattered around which have various effects. Pie slows enemies down, poop makes you invulnerable but stops you eating fruits for a time, shoes allow you to jump higher and walk faster, and a tongue icon extends your tongue's range. You can only carry one at a time, however. There are also magical wands that freeze all enemies and turn them into fruits for a short time. Some of the enemies can also be used as platforms. Heart-shaped flowers and bowling balls can be stepped on without incurring damage if you lick them once to paralyze them, and this is often the only way to obtain the best collectible items. In fact, the first boss fight is this out-of-reach forest sprite who chucks down boulders at you. You have to freeze one of these boulders in place while avoiding the stampeding rhinoceros so that you can jump up and reach him. An inventive fight that then grants you a key to get into the school, then proceeds to tell you there are 4 others needed as well, where the next leg of your adventure awaits. It appears to be a quite non-linear game at first, but it's not really. Usually the next port of call is obvious, and each level, whether a left-to-right platforming stage or a boss fight, advances the story well, with a sense of urgency. Watch your time limit on these levels, as it's tight if you're wanting to make the most out of collecting things. At the end of certain stages, you'll find these ball-looking things floating around. This isn't a boss as such, but you have to lick it once to end the level. The one on the first stage grants you takoyaki power. Takoyaki is a kind of grilled seafood bowl snack, delicious by the way, that helps you fix the city somehow. Between levels, you navigate the town by way of this slide puzzle. Keep an eye on the map for where the new icons pop up. You'll have to maneuver the board to access them, with the town becoming more and more repaired as you go along. The art style is very similar to the first game, as is the sound. It's maybe a little more polished, but not by much. Where Magical Taruruto-Kun 2 improves on its predecessor is the gameplay aspect. It's still tricky as you like in places, but it feels fairer, and the freezing enemies mechanic opens the game up to some interesting puzzle-solving shenanigans. Thoroughly recommended.